Alright guys, so now we are going to study the section 2.2, vertical and horizontal shift. First of all, let's talk about the vertical shift. A vertical shift can be up or down, and if you have a y equal, or a function g of x equal to another function f of x plus or minus c, if you have a plus, that means you will have a shift up c of your function f of x, and if you have a minus c, you will have a shift vertical down of c unit of your function f of x. Let's try to take a look at the example number 1. If you take a look at the example number 1, we're having right here the function f of x equal to another function. Let's call that this function now g of x minus 1. If I call this function right here g of x, and as you can see, if I'm supposed to have a vertical shift down because of the negative, so I'm supposed to have a vertical shift down of 1 unit, okay? 1 unit, well, the y is supposed to become a 0, the 2 is supposed to become a 1, and the 0 in y is supposed to become a minus 1. And this is why I'm having now this shift down 1 unit on this side. Now, if I had to have a, let's do a plus 1, if instead to have a minus 1 I had a plus 1, I would have had a shift up of 1 unit, and this shift up of 1 unit, instead to have 2, I would have had 3 on y, instead to have 1, I would have 1, I would have had 2 on y, and instead to have 0, I would have had 1, and so I would have had this function right there going up. Now let's focus on the horizontal shift. And the horizontal shift, it is when you have a function f of x, and this function f of x is equal to another function with x plus or minus c. Well, when you have a plus, you're supposed to have a shift horizontal to the left. When it's plus, it's to the left, and when it's, let me use another color, and when you have a minus, it's supposed to be to the right. Naturally, if I'm saying plus, you're going to think to the right, think that it is the opposite what you would think right away. So if you look at the example number 2, you will understand that what was x equal 1 is going to become a 2, what was x equal 0 is going to become a 1, and what was x equal 4 is going to become a 5. This is why now I'm having a shift to the right, and I'm having a shift to the right because of the minus. If instead of the minus I had a plus, okay, if instead of the minus I had a plus, what was 1 would have become 0, what was 0 would have become minus 1, what was 4 would have become 3, and that would have been the horizontal shift to the left. So with a plus, I'm having an horizontal shift to the left. With a minus, I'm having an horizontal shift to the right. Let's try to do the example number 1 right here. The example number 1 is pretty easy. So we're having, first of all, f of x. We're having f of x equal g of x plus 3, with g of x equal x squared. So first of all, I'm going to represent x squared, and if x squared look like this, obviously it's not very accurate, but that's the representation. Let me try to do that a much better way. Okay. All right. If that is f of x equal, if that is g of x equal x squared, well, I know that with g of x, with f of x equal g of x plus 3, I'm supposed to have a vertical shift up 3. So everything was is going to move up 3, and so if that is 1, 2, 3, I'm going to have, this is f of x equal g of x plus 3. I'll let you do the absolute value of x minus 2. The only thing I want to do with you is the representation of absolute value of x. And if that is absolute value of x, what are you supposed to have? Well, you're supposed to have a shift, but this time the shift is going to be vertical, but vertical down. Vertical shift, and it's a vertical shift down. Down of how many units? 2 units. So 1, 2 is right here, and I'm going to have right there f of x equal g of x minus 2. Alright, I'll let you do the horizontal shift by yourself, and you will tell me if you have any problem. I'll let you look at the book, and let's move on to the section, to the page 3. Alright, in this example, page 3, I'm going to do the example 4 for you. The example 4, it is pretty simple. First of all, I'm going to graph the representation of absolute value of x. This would be the f of x equal absolute value of x. And because I'm looking at f of x equal absolute value of x minus 2, I know, this is an absolute value, I know I'm going to have an horizontal shift, and because it's negative 2, it will be to the right, and how many units? 2, the right to 2 units, so I'm going to have something looking like this. This is f of x equal absolute value of x minus 2. I'll let you do the example number 5 as well as the example number 6 by yourself. The advice for the example number 5 is to start by representing the function x cubed, then represent the function, so x cubed, then represent the function x minus 1 cube on a second graph, and at last but not least the last one, x minus 1 cube plus 4. Thank you, and I will see you in class.